are now listening to the Dad Rules Podcast with your hosts, Mario E. and Kid.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Dad Rules Podcast, where we help you dad better. I'm one of your hosts, Mario E. and Kid. What it do?
Nothing much, man. Let's get to the topic.
All right. So today, guys, we have for you a topic called The Early Bird Gets the Worm. We're going to be talking about being proactive, starting early, not being lazy, not procrastinating. Kid, what you got for us?
Well, at first I'll start with, when I think about early bird gets the worm, I'm thinking like you got to get up early. So me, as you already know, we've talked about it before. I like to get up really early in the morning, about 4 o'clock, get my day started. That's my time where I can exercise, I can pray, I can meditate, I can legacy build. All those things happen early in the morning that I can't necessarily do later on because I got other stuff. I'm at work or I'm tending to my family, things of that nature. So when I think about getting on things early and not procrastinating, I think about me, myself, and like the goals that I have for my life. And like when you put a plan together, you need to be making steps towards that plan in life. You can't wait till the last minute and then say, hey, well, I want $1 million now. It doesn't work like that. $1 million is not just going to fall out the sky. If you have goals or aspirations to be a millionaire or even a billionaire, you have to make the proper steps to get to that goal. And I feel like the only way that you can do that is with preparation and not procrastinating. If you procrastinate too much, your life will be gone. What's your thoughts on it?
That's right. You're right, man. You're right. One of the first things I think about when we talk about the early bird gets the worm, I think about how we've all seen it, Black Friday deals, you had the early bird special.
Yeah.
That's designated for the person or the people that's going to get there early enough that want that deal. They want that special trinket or whatever it is. They want that. So they're going to get there early, right?
Yeah.
And so I think about that, and we have to take that same approach, with being proactive and starting early with that. Hey, something I want that I'm willing to lose a little bit of sleep over. You know what I mean? So that's something that's one of the things I think about. I also think about, and we might have some other folks who had to learn these sayings, but I think about the piece of lit that we had to learn to be early is to be on time.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is to be on time is to be late. To be late is to be in trouble. I can remember, being taught that, and I can remember where we were when we learned that and all that stuff. And it's just, you got to start early in the morning, right? And I so love what you said when you talk about how in the morning you use that time to legacy build and to meditate and to pray and do all these things. And I try to make sure I do the same thing too. For me, I think about it, getting up early can be rough sometimes. That snooze button, oh my goodness, man. That snooze button can be evil.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That snooze button can be evil because, it's don't get me wrong, rest is important. We talked about that in another episode. Rest is very important, but it also, you can't sleep your life away. I know too many people, and I can remember times as a teenager, you stay up all night long, and then you're sleeping like 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Your day is already gone. Your day is already gone at that point, right? But you have to start off early. I use that time also to meditate, to think about my goals, think about my dreams, and build plans. And also to exercise and to meditate and all those things. And I mean, that's important. You have to do those things because, a friend of mine, he once said this, and I'll never forget it, but you never ever regret waking up early.
Yeah.
You won't regret it. You'll regret not getting up early enough. If you hit the snooze for like an hour or two, or if you get up really late, you'll feel like you're behind all day long. But if you get up early and take care of those things that you know you need to take care of, you feel refreshed. That's how you feel. That's how I feel.
And it makes it interesting because I started thinking, like, don't we all kind of procrastinate sometime and not be as proactive as we can be? Now, some have severe cases and some are mild cases of it.
We're not perfect.
Yeah. I think we all kind of struggle with that. Especially, I think about times when I was in college and having to do papers. And I just know, me personally, I have to be proactive and do a little bit each day so I don't get overstressed and then I just kind of shut down. So I have to do a little bit every day and make it where it's manageable for me. And it has to be manageable in my mind first. And then once I can, get control over my mind with taking on this task, then, the physical part follows. Now, I know you a little bit different than me, especially when it comes to papers.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember times where you were in school and you might have a 10 or 15 page paper and it's due Sunday night and you started on this Sunday.
So let me explain. So there have been times where, and I'll be honest, procrastination has always been something that there have been times in my life where I've struggled with it, right? But we're talking about paper. So let me give you this. I may know that the paper is due on a Sunday.
Yeah.
That Monday before, I'm working on it. But I'm working on it in my mind. Now, some people you may think, oh, that's a whole bunch of craziness. You're not actually putting your pen to the paper. You're not typing on the keyboard.
Yeah.
But in my mind, Monday, I've started writing the paper. In my mind, I know where I'm going to go, point A, then sub point, so on and so forth. That by the time I sit down, now, most of the time for me, it was always like the paper is due on Sunday. I'm actually starting to type it on maybe Saturday. Okay. I'll take a big chunk of it Saturday. I'll normally, put some earbuds in, headphones or whatever, and I'll listen. I'll be honest, I would listen to some classical music and I would just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I could knock a chunk of it out on Saturday, get up the next day and write the other 7 pages of it or whatever. And that was my method. It was something about sitting down on a Monday, writing a paper that was due on Sunday, just didn't sit right with me because I always felt like I was going to miss something. Like if I finished it on Monday when it was due Sunday, another thought was going to come to my mind and then I was going to have to rearrange everything. So that was me. So yeah, that was something that I did.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like I would be talking to you, like, you got to do what by tonight, and you would tell me, and it used to kind of like it's weird, but it would kind of like I would kind of be stressing for you because I'm like, man, he got to go do all that. Like I know he's stressing about it, but and that's okay because we all got to kind of got to know our stress levels and what's best for us because the way you just explained it, and that's the first time you've really explained it to me, but you were being proactive, but you're being proactive in your own way. Me, I have to put pen to paper. And you kind of, structure everything in your head, then you start putting it together. So, I mean, I can't say that that's wrong. I can't say that your form of proactivity is not as good as my form, but that's just one of the things that being proactive, I know I had to do it then. If I didn't do it, I knew I wasn't going to be successful in it. So Yeah.
You talk about success, and one of the things that I try to make sure I share with my kids is definitely putting your best foot forward, starting early. Sometimes in being proactive, you have to give a little extra, right? You have to sometimes do a little bit extra than what everybody else is doing. Sometimes it means staying a little bit after on practice to do something. Sometimes it could be getting up a little bit earlier to do something, right? And I've definitely told both my kids that they both, I mean, they're one is 18 and one is 11, and so one is technically grown. So it's one of those things where trying to instill in her that, hey, you got to be proactive. You got to put your best foot forward all the time. You got sometimes you're gonna have to get up early. I know you love to sleep, but you got to get out there and start early. And I try to instill those same things into my son, right? And maybe you're a person where you don't like to get up early. I'm technically not a morning person. I really don't like getting up early.
Yeah.
But here's something that I would suggest to you that kind of helped me kind of get up early. And let's say if you're in the habit right now of not getting up early, and let's say you're getting up at 8:00, okay, 9:00 in the morning. That's what time you normally would naturally get up. But you want to start getting up early to do some of the things that we're talking about, where you're meditating, where you're exercising, and legacy building and all those types of things. And you want to start getting up at 5. Well, how do you eat an elephant? You eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? Yeah. You don't take the big chunk of the whole elephant all at one time, right? So start off in small increments. If you're at 8, say, okay, this week I'm going to get up at 7:45. Maybe a couple of days after that, you say, okay, now I'm going to set my clock for 7:30, and gradually work your way into that and build those good habits of getting up a little bit earlier and earlier and earlier. Next thing you know, you're getting up at 5, and it feels natural. It feels normal. You feel refreshed, and that's just something, we as fathers, we definitely need to make sure that we're doing so that we're prepared for everything that the world is going to throw at us. And then we can also be able to explain those things to our kids. So when they get older, we're able to explain to them, hey, this is what you got to do, daughter. This is what you got to do, son. If you want something, sometimes it will require you to lose a little sleep, but that's okay. You're doing it for success.
Yeah. And I think we all want our kids to be successful. I think we all want our kids to be productive. We want them to be upstanding citizens in the communities or whatever community that they move to when they get older. And I feel like that in order for my child to be productive, they have to have discipline. And I feel like, and if you disagree, that's fine. I welcome any comments. But I feel like there's a certain amount of discipline that comes with getting up early in the morning. Now, I'm not saying that he has to get up at 4:00 like I do, but not staying in the bed till 2:00 in the afternoon, just to show him that discipline. And I feel like that if he sees me get up and go get it, in which most fathers, we get up and do what we have to do each day, whether it's work or whether you're a business owner, you're you're doing something each day. You're doing something productive. You're fulfilling your purpose each day. And if our kids can see that from us day in and day out, I think it will have a positive input on their lives. And even my son, I mean, he's 3 years old right now. And when I see him in the morning, I go give him a hug and I say, well, bud, I'll see you later this afternoon. And then I tell my wife, bye, honey, I'm about to go to work or whatever. So Joe knows now that my dad's going to work. He has that in his mind now that dad's at work. And then later on, he's going to understand really what going to work is. Then he really gets an understanding of what dad had to do. Dad did this every day. And then, like you said, legacy building early in the morning legacy building, if you guys don't know about it, is planning for your family each day so that you can possibly get the goals that you want to get, so you can leave something for your family and leave that legacy.
That's right.
If you want a legacy of wealth, I know a lot of people have that dream. If you want a legacy to be that you were a productive citizen, you were a pillar in the community, whatever your legacy is that you want to leave, you got a game plan for that.
Yeah.
And when your kids see what kind of person you are every day, they're going to see you every day. They're going to see you more than everybody else. They're going to see you get up every day. Even if dad doesn't care about his job or whatever, or if he hates his job, or if dad loves his job, they're going to see the attitude that you take every day. And that's being proactive. Because the bills are due at the end of the month. Okay. So you have to be proactive and some kind of way get money into that household to pay the bills. Yeah. So that's being proactive. You can't wait to the 30th of the month and say, oh man, what I'm going to do to get these bills paid for. No, you got to start on the first. That's whether you're a business owner, that's whether you're in the working class, you got to pay bills. That is what it is. Mm-hmm. And in order to do that, we all have to be proactive and go out and get it. And our kids are going to see that.
Mm-hmm. Or they're going to see dad staying at home, not doing anything, not putting his hands to his work, sleeping till noon every day or whatever the case may be. And that's what you're going to get. They're going to learn that, and you don't want them to learn that, right?
And then when things not happening for you in life, then you want to blame people for it. You can't blame people. As dads, we are judged for what we are. Just gonna be honest with you, and straight up and down. This is the Dad Rules podcast, and we're gonna be straight up honest about it. We are judged on how we provide. What resources do we have? What value do we bring to the household? Security, finances, being there physically for our family, showing love, being a guide through life. All of that. And the whole point of raising our kids is being proactive. You can't wait until your child turns 15 years old and then decide that you're going to raise them to be a productive citizen in the community.
Late by that point.
Yeah. The raising, our responsibility as dads starts at birth. And whether the outcome is good or bad, it's on us.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
That's right.
So
that's right.
We gotta take up our responsibilities. And I know it's a lot of dads out there doing it because I see it all the time. So all this talk about there's no good dads out here, that's a lie. It's a lot of us out here. And we're doing the best we can. Yeah, we might come up short. Yeah, we might fail here or there, but we're doing everything in our power to raise our families and be successful. And it starts with being proactive. Everything we do, raising our kids, we have to be proactive and make sure that our kids reach the potential that we know that they can reach.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you said a lot there, man. You said a whole lot. You know, it's so many of us that are trying to do the right things. And, you know, we sometimes, you know, you need to hear that. Some dads need to hear exactly what you just said. You know, you may mess up here and there, but, you know, get back on it, you know, keep going, keep fighting, you know,
and
be proactive.
I didn't even think about it. There's a lot of dads that, depending on the shifts that they work, and they might have to sleep during the day. So they don't necessarily have to get up early, but you're still in this too, because it's not that your time just changes. You just might have to get up a little bit earlier than what you would normally do to get some of the things done for yourself. Right. And I do feel like
the
that.
main
I feel
thing
like
is about being proactive.
Yeah. And dads, we have to like take care of ourselves because we're taking care of everybody else all the time. So that getting up early thing, it's like a self-check. I didn't mention that, but we need to self-check ourselves. We need to self-evaluate ourselves, in the mornings and making sure, am I straight? Am I good mentally? Like, am I ready to, go to work? Am I going to have a good attitude today? Am I ready to be in front of my kids? Or am I ready when they wake up? Is my attitude straight right now? Or when they come down here, because if your attitude's not right, you can greet your kids or your wife, you can greet them in the wrong manner. You don't want to do that because that damages relationships. And if your day is not right, then now not only is your day wrong or not right, you've messed up your son's day, you've messed up your wife's day. So now he's gonna have a bad day at school. The wife is gonna have a bad day when she goes to work. We set the tone in the household.
That's true.
We are the leaders in the household.
That's right.
And people,
that's right. There's been plenty of times.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, people, they may not, I know society has changed so much and we might not look at things. They might say, well, that's the old school way of looking at it. The fathers are the leaders in the household. We are. So we have to make sure that we're straight so we can set the tone and so we can lead properly.
Yeah. I know there's been plenty of times where I've gotten up maybe not as early as I wanted to, and then I'm trying to get up and do some things. And next thing you know, I done said something spicy to my wife, and the whole day is just a different vibe. You got to go and make it right.
We've been
so there. Yeah, man. It's I think we all have.
Yeah,
you got to set the tone, like you said.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah.
But it's all about being a dad, man. We're gonna make our mistakes and stuff, and man, sometimes you just want to relax, man. Because I know, like this weekend, I think on Saturday I didn't work out. I didn't get up and work out this morning. I'm doing really bad right now. As far as the exercising thing and getting up early, but tomorrow I'll get back on it, get up early, get my exercising in and everything. But sometimes you gotta be able to have that gauge on yourself. Like, all right, man, I need to kind of relax. And I still got up early, I think yesterday. And I got up pretty early today. But I didn't go through the normal routine. But I don't feel off today. So I feel like it was something that I kind of needed,
Right. And something else too, I was thinking about, a lot of times for me in meditating that early, I'll definitely do this on the ride to work. I'll sometimes, you just affirm certain things and declare certain things about how this is going to be a great day. And just speaking positivity, over my life and over those certain situations or whatever. And, people, if you haven't done that before, it works. I'm telling you, it works. Having a positive mindset, can alleviate a whole lot of the stress that you may have, so it's definitely a go-to for me, for sure.
Yeah. What you just said is very, very powerful. Speaking positively over yourself, over your family. Okay, if you don't think that works, or you think that might sound right or whatever, think about if you always said something negative about your family. Like, you know, oh, I hate my job. Oh, my son never listens to me. My wife, she's always nagging. You know, when you think about the negative things all the time, it's going to affect your attitude. It's going to affect your mood. And it's going to affect your day. But like you said, being proactive and before anything even gets started. Now today is a great day. It's a good day. My son is well, my wife is well, everything is good in my castle. It just gives you a whole different vibe.
Gives you a different perspective too.
And you can take on anything at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like as
and,
that
I think about too.
We have to feel like we're ready for everything. And a lot of times, and that's why we had this podcast, is because a lot of times men don't have that positive talk given to them from outside sources. They might not get that encouragement that they need. So I feel like what you're saying is very key, because if nobody's going to positively talk to you, you got to talk positively to yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And take control over that moment. And that's what being proactive is all about, is before anything takes off, I'm going to take charge of this right now, and I'm going to control my destiny.
Yep. You know, and this also leads me to think about this part as well. And this isn't my quote necessarily, and you know, I may kind of paraphrase it a little bit in terms of how it is. But when you get up early, a lot of times, man, and you work on those things that you know you should be working on for dreams that you have and goals that you have, and the legacy building that you were talking about, kid, you know, you're not caught off guard when you come into a situation that is luck. You know, a lot of times people think somebody got lucky. You know, oh man, you know, did you hear about so-and-so, man? They got to leave their job, and you know, now they in their own business, or so-and-so they're doing this now. Oh man, they're so lucky. You know, no, that didn't happen because of those things. Don't happen because of luck.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, I guarantee you that most of those people, you know, it's a quote, and it says something like, and again, I might mess it up, but it says something to the effect of luck is where opportunity and preparation meet. Something to that effect.
Yeah.
That I guarantee you, those people that you calling lucky, those people that you're calling that, oh man, they're so lucky that they got this opportunity. No, I guarantee you they were preparing for that opportunity.
Oh yeah.
Years in advance, months in advance, days in advance, you know, where they were just, you know, kind of preparing, you know, like, hey, if I ever get into this situation, this is what I'm going to do. If I ever get into that situation, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I'm going to already have this, you know, I'm going to work on this book right now. And then next thing you know, they meet some agent, and the next thing you know, their book is already out, because why? They were already working on it. Yeah. You know, it's not something that you know, you're automatically like, oh, if you think about it, if you meet someone, if you get this perfect opportunity and you're not prepared for it, you're not ready for it, it's going to take you even longer to get said opportunity. But if you're already, you know, in that grind, yeah, exactly. So yeah, you got to, yeah, you got to, you know, start early with these things. I read somewhere, man, that a lot of these successful CEOs of these big time companies, you know, they wake up super early in the morning. Yeah. They wake up at, you know, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, things like that. You know, and if you're not a morning person, like I said, and you want to be a morning person, you know, follow that suggestion that I gave you, you know. But if you want to continue to do what you're doing and it's working for you, and that you think, go right ahead. But I'm telling you, you know, sometimes you got to lose a little sleep. Sometimes you got to get up early and be proactive. Start early. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I felt the same thing that you found. a lot of successful business owners and CEOs, when they would talk or when they were giving speeches, they would talk about how they were getting up early and game planning. And that's what made me want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I started doing it, and I started having a hard time getting up at 4 because it's really tough at first. And then I listened to another motivational speaker, and it was actually a lady, and she was talking about how when she first started doing it, she just counted 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then she just got out of bed. That's all she did. And she said, I know it sounds corny, but she said, I counted 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just got up out of bed. And you know what? When I did it, it started working. And I started doing the same thing by just doing it. Now,
so you do that now?
Yeah, I don't have to do it now.
You do that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did it until I got used to getting up. And it worked for me. So it may work for somebody else. But one thing that you were talking about preparation. And preparation is so key, and it still ties into being proactive. But when you are prepared, and when you've been preparing for a moment for things to happen, you can go forth expecting things to happen. So when everybody else is like, right, oh my gosh, this is what happened with Kid. Oh my gosh, this is what happened with Mario E. And it's like, you can really sit there and be like, I'm not surprised that this happened. I knew that this was what I wanted to happen. And I prepared myself for it. And I grinded in those mornings when nobody can see you and you're working on that thing that you're passionate about while everybody else is asleep. Does everybody else deserve the rewards that you get? So dads, when you're working and you're preparing for things, and even with your kids, and this is why we have to put this into our kids, is that you prepare every day of your life. You need to be expecting great things to happen in your life because you are prepared for it. You're built for this. This is a part of your purpose. And we talked about that. We talked about that last week, where I felt like a lot of guys were missing out on their purpose in life. But when you find your purpose and you're preparing for it and you're molding yourself for it, and while we're molding ourselves for our dreams, we have to mold our kids for theirs. So as they're walking every day, tell them to put their head up, stick their chest out, and go forth expecting great things to happen for you in your life. And that's all about being proactive.
That's right.
You can't be.
That's right.
Being proactive, and I feel like one of the worst things we can be in life is reactive. When things happen to us, we just react. No, we shouldn't wait around for things to happen to us. Be proactive and make things happen. But yeah, I mean, it's power. It is so much power in being proactive. There's so much power in being prepared and making sure that you are expecting great things to happen for you.
Yeah, you're taking the leadership role as men, as fathers, when you're being proactive and not just allowing anything to happen. Oh, I guess I'll do this, and yeah, this happened, so I guess now I'll adjust. And it's good, that you're able to react, speedily when things happen. But it's good to it's better, I think, to be proactive.
Yeah. Because
for sure.
And I think that's kind of tied to success too, is like making things happen. Mm-hmm. Making things happen. You want to be you want to be that person that's pushing things forward. And you want to teach your kids to make things happen. Because every kid is going to have a dream. And I feel like when our kids have these dreams and they have their wildest dream, it is depending on what that dream is. We want our kids to be able to achieve their wildest dreams. And in order for them to do that, it's going to take them being proactive and doing the proper research. Because some of these jobs out here, or some of these careers that they might want to do, it takes for them to do the research. How do you do this? What do you need to go? How do you need to work? Is everything that you need to do to be successful in this particular field?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, and that doesn't need to wait until their 18th birthday for them to try and figure that out.
That's right.
I'm talking to Shanika now about things with Jonah. It's like, oh my goodness, he likes that over there. Do you think that's something he might want to do when he gets older? Because I want to always put things in front of him so he's always aware of what he could possibly do in life.
Yeah.
So I don't ever think
it's
too early for that.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be proactive, like you said, and plan and count the costs, So
count up the cost is key. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It is key. Go to the next segment of the podcast, and it's our Ask the Dad segment. And today I have a scenario for you, not necessarily a question. It's more of a trick question. I kind of already know how you're going to answer this, but I wanted us to kind of discuss this a little further. So the scenario is you guys are getting ready for bed. It's night. You all go to sleep. You and your family. You guys are sleeping well, getting some of the best sleep of your life. And then at 3 a.m. in the morning, there's a knock on your front door. My question is, who answers the door?
In my house, who answers the door? So I will tell you like this. 3 o'clock in the morning, there's a knock on the door. Who's answering the door? I'm answering the door.
Obviously.
Me.
Okay.
Obviously, right? But so let me just take the opportunity to say this as well. Things that have happened when we've had, I guess you could say, maybe it hadn't been that late at night or early in the morning, or when something happens in our house. I will say this: my wife is definitely a ride or die because she's gotten up with me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there was a time I can remember back when we were living in Arizona, and I think some debris had got into, I don't know what it was, but it was causing it to smoke a little bit. And we both at the same time in the middle of the night smell the smoke, and we both at the time. I didn't go, hey babe, can you go check on so-and-so or check on it? We both got up at the same time and, trying to figure out what was going on. So I know that if there was a ring on our doorbell at 3 a.m., I'm getting up and I'm going to be the one opening the door, but I guarantee you she's going to be behind me with a baseball bat, something ready to see, hey, what's popping? What's going on?
Yeah.
Who here?
That's right. That's right.
So, so I got me one that's like that, and she'll tell anybody quick how she got a black belt in Taekwondo, this, that, and the other, so I love that, but I tell you this, if it was, let's say I was away on business, I wouldn't want her to open the door. I'll say that. Now, some women,
I agree.
Some independent women may hear me say that, and they may think that they got it all under control and they can do that. And, how dare a man tell them that they shouldn't answer the door? I respect that. I respect their side, and I hope they respect what I'm saying, but I don't want my wife to answer the door at 3 a.m. in the morning if I'm not there. I don't want her to answer the door at 3 a.m. in the morning if I am there, because I feel like I'm the protector.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say, is that because you are the protector in that household. And I think sometimes, I'm not saying that it gets overlooked, but it's such an instinct type of thing that you just move into action that I don't think we really think about it a lot. So that's why I really wanted to talk about it today. So like with me, and I've had an early morning knock or ring at the doorbell. I've had that happen before. Actually, we had one of our cars parked on the street, and somebody had hit our car. And one of my neighbors actually came to my door really early in the morning like that to tell us what had happened. When we got outside, the fire department, the ambulance, and everybody was there. And I had heard a bang, and once I heard a bang, I was like, I think that's something, honey, And I'm like getting up, getting everything I need to get ready to check the house or whatever. But she was like, I don't think it's nothing or whatever. So I just laid back down. And the next thing I know, somebody rang the doorbell. So at that moment, and it's funny because, like I said, it's just the instinct thing where she automatically goes to find Joe and see if he's okay. And then I kind of go to the door and check that out. And what are we really doing as fathers when we go to that door and answer the door? What are we really doing at that moment? And I thought about it and I said, we're really putting our life on the line to protect our family.
Yeah.
That doesn't get broadcast, but it's the truth. When we go to that door, whatever's on the other side of that door, we're going to be the first line of defense before our family is harmed. And I want to talk about this because I want the dads to understand that their value in the home is more than just finances. Their value in the home is more than just being dad. It's more than just physically being there. It's more than just a saying. We provide a tremendous amount of security in the home. And when security is absent, then insecurity takes place. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's married and she has a child, and she was talking about how her husband usually works during the day, but this particular week he had to work nights. And she was talking about how I check my door more than I normally do this whole week. I checked my door. I was checking it, making sure things was okay, checking the outside, making sure everything was, in place. And then she said, my daughter actually, slept in the bed with me. And the daughter missed that dad wasn't there. So right there, it told me that, with that dad not being there, and a lot of times the dad would go to sleep early, but she never would check the doors. The daughter was just fine sleeping in her own room and all of that. And I was like, wow, do you see what dads bring to the table? And we haven't said anything about providing anything. Just your presence in the house makes a difference. And I think about my own home.
Bro, I think
about my own home and like times that I was not even out late, but it was dark outside and I hadn't got home yet. And my son would be uneasy. Now, he doesn't verbalize all his feelings all the time. No, he doesn't say, I'm scared. He may say, where's dad? But he doesn't say, I feel insecure right now or I'm scared. But my wife says he's a little uneasy. And I know how I felt when I was a kid and when my dad was always there at night. But sometimes you might be at the store, you might have a meeting or something that gets you home a little late. And just imagine how that affects your kids.
Yeah.
And I miss my mom too, but we're talking about the dads. right? If my mom was out shopping or something like that, I'd be concerned where she's at, but it's more, I'm concerned what my mom is because she needs to be protected. We got to make sure she's okay. We got to make sure she's straight. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that a woman is weak. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about our natural places in nature, what we naturally bring to the table. I looked for my dad for security. And not to say that dads don't love, but I really look for the nurturing from my mom. I look for the love from my mom. But from my dad, I always felt secure and safe when he was there.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I just, I want to hear what you had to say too.
No. I was just going to comment. I was just going to say there have been times where I've went away on business for a week or whatever, and my wife would tell me sometimes, especially like when they were younger, they would get into bed with her because they didn't feel, it would, like you said, they would feel uneasy being, alone, in the house by themselves, so definitely, we provide that. We provide that security and that sense of like, oh, everything's going to be okay because dad is home, so it's definitely what you said is true. Yeah. And I can look at it the same way you're saying that, and again, like I echo the same thing you said, is not to say that a woman can't protect her family, because definitely women, single mothers, they do that all day long. They do. And I applaud all of them. They do. It's just that, right now we're talking, this is the Dad Rules podcast. We're talking about men, and we're trying to uplift men and trying to help them dad better. And we're just trying to give that direction for some guys who may not see it or may not know it, and that encouragement to them to say, hey, your family needs you, and your family wants you to be there, and your family expects you to protect them. That's all we're saying, Yeah. I can think about just yesterday, we went on a track meet with my son, and the drive was 2.5 hours long. I wanted to drive. That's not to say my wife couldn't drive, but to me, there are things, and you could call it old school, you could call it passe, you could say that I'm whatever. I kind of tend to look at it, maybe sometimes it's some chivalry, okay? But that's another thing, is chivalry dead, okay? But I wanted to take the opportunity to drive 2.5 hours. I didn't want my wife driving. She's more than capable of driving 2.5 hours to the destination to go to the track meet. But I wanted to say, honey, you rest, and you just keep me company. We talk and we listen to some music while we're driving. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna drive. You don't worry about it. So those are some things. I think men, I feel like, certain things in our house, I feel like, hey, I take care of. You don't worry about this. I got this. And then there are other things that, she may tell me, hey, I got this over here, and you don't worry about it. Yeah. So that's how I look at it. Yeah. And yeah, man, it's like, like everybody has to realize their purpose in the home. And like I said, the value that's there. And I think, a lot of guys, they don't realize their value in the home, and you're valuable. You're valuable. And I just want to say that today, because I feel like somebody needs to hear that. Yeah, for sure. But that all you got? That's all I got today, bro. All right. Well, we thank you guys for listening to the Dad Rules podcast, and we want you to take this. We want to hear what you got to say about this. We want to hear about your experiences with being the security in the household, or how you felt as a kid, or we want to keep this conversation going. So like, comment, and subscribe. And guys, we'll see you guys next week. Mario E and Kid, we are signing out.
Thank you for listening to the Dad Rules Podcast with your hosts, Mario E. and Kid. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, follow and like us on Facebook and Instagram. You can find our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Breaker, and Player FM. Till next time.